All right, boys, in this video, I want to talk about the dating principles for South Asian men. Think of this video as basically the South Asian Bible. Very soon, I'm going to be creating a book about mastering dating, becoming that single South Asian guy that maximizes all areas of his life, becomes the best possible version of himself so he can attract the woman that he truly wants. This book is going to be covering every single element we're going to discuss in this video that you need to fully implement, understand, and embrace in your life to really take your dating life to the next level, man. But obviously, we can't go into that much detail in just a 20-minute video or so. But really, this is going to be an outline for this book that I'm going to be creating soon. That's going to really enhance and take your dating life to the next level as a South Asian guy. Not just, step-by-step guide, but also really just the principles and the theory and the mindset you need to have to succeed in dating in today's day and age, especially in areas like the West as that single South Asian guy. So with that being said, let's hop into the video. The dating principles for South Asian men. Principle number 1 is to have a stronger inner game, okay? Have a better mindset, okay? Get rid of this inferiority complex. South Asian men, brown guys, Indian guys, they often have this mindset where they think certain races are more superior, right? In India, they call it Gora complex. It's where they pedestalize, other races, pedestalizing other attractive women of other races. You can see this all the time when it comes to white girls, pedestalizing white women, right? So get rid of this inferiority complex, okay? They are no better than you, okay? At the end of the day, never be ashamed of your race. It's what makes you unique as a human being. And at the end of the day, stop blaming your race, okay? You are a human being, not an alien, okay? Never be ashamed of your race. It's what makes you unique. Just because you see a person that's white or Latina or super attractive woman of another race does not mean that she's unattainable. Get that strong inner game. Be proud that you're Indian. Never be ashamed of your race. It's what makes you unique. You need to believe in yourself. You need to believe that you are the best. You need to believe that your race is amazing. Know your self-worth. Be proud of your race, okay? Be proud of your culture, traditions, okay? Your culture and traditions, honestly, as a South Asian guy, it's gonna make you stand out in a very good way. Yeah, are there women out there that might not be into your culture? Of course there are. But there's also a lot of women out there that will like your culture, embrace your culture, like the traditions. Women love a lot of these Indian clothing, saris, mendi, and so on and so forth, right? So yeah, are there women out there that might find these things weird? Yeah, but there's also a lot of women out there of other races especially too that will find your culture very unique. And if you really think about it, right? If you're, say, into European girls, American girls, more westernized girls, right? You bring way more to the table due to your culture and your traditions than, say, any basic white guy that she might date, right? What does these basic white guys really bring to the table from a heritage and culture standpoint? You're going to stand out in a good way, especially if she's somebody who's more open to dating outside of her race, someone who likes all these unique cultures and traditions, you're going to stand out in a lot more of a positive way than any of these basic, white guys that she might have dated in the past, all right? But nevertheless, strong inner game, having a better mindset about all of this. Get rid of that inferiority complex, pedestalizing women of different races, pedestalizing attractive women of different races, thinking that they're unattainable. Have a better mindset, have strong inner game. You need to believe in yourself, okay? Stop blaming your race. Anyone can level up. You're a human being, not an alien, okay? So, with that being said, let's go to point number 2. You need to grasp the concept of race niche appeal, all right? Yes, statistically, people tend to date within their own race. There's no doubt about that, right? And as a result, yeah, is the dating game going to be a little bit harder for a minority, especially a minority dating, outside the race, dating in a westernized country, Europe, America, Canada, so on and so forth? Yeah, the dating game is going to be a little bit harder, okay? But guess what, bro? Stop complaining, okay? Deal with it and level up the best you can in all areas of life, okay? Yeah, some people, are super tall. They're blessed with certain genetics, genes, right? Some people are short, but guess what? They make do with what they have. They control what they can control, okay? Have the why not you mindset. Is there a short brown guy out there with a solid dating life? Yeah. Is there a short brown guy out there? Might not even be the best looking brown guy. Might be an average brown guy, but does he have a girlfriend? Does he have an attractive girlfriend? Is he doing okay for himself at the very least when it comes to dating? Yeah. Why not you, bro? Have that mindset. Why not you? There are brown guys out there crushing it with dating. Why not you? All right, so stop blaming, again, similar to point number 1, stop blaming your race, okay? Get rid of that inferiority complex, okay? And always remember this, right? When it comes to race niche appeal, yeah, statistically, there's no question that people tend to date more within their own race, okay? Similar cultures, okay, languages, so on and so forth. It makes sense. Yeah, statistically, with race niche appeal, people are going to tend to date more so within their own race. I'm not going to deny that for you. However, with that being said, you need to realize, right, although people relate more with culture and language, right, at the end of the day, the more you level up, right, the more attractive you make yourself, the more options you're going to have regardless of your race and regardless of the girl's race, okay? So level up in all these areas of your life, and the more options you are going to have regardless of your race. Become that top tier brown guy, okay? Become objectively attractive, level up the best you can, all right? And the more options you're gonna have, regardless of whatever race of girl you are into, okay? So always remember that, all right? So with that being said, real quick, speaking of making yourself more attractive, leveling up, and improving your dating life, no pressure, but the top link in the description is my South Asian Warriors school community. This is my school community designed to help single South Asian men transform and level up their dating life. In here, I have an infield module, infield breakdowns, looks maxing, fitness guides, fashion guides, a dating app module, mastering online presentation, social skills, in-person infields, a lot of great dating content to help you level up your dating life. So if you're interested, no pressure, but it's the top link in the description to join the school community. Give it a shot. I'll see you inside there. Now, with that being said, point number 3, we last talked about this principle, right? The more attractive you make yourself, the more options you will have regardless of your race and regardless of the girl's race. So let's get a little bit more into leveling up and self-improvement, which is point number 3, principle number 3. A lot of dating coaches, right? Pickup guys, they're all about mouthpiece maxing, text game, advanced text game, right? PUAs, dating coaches, a lot of them, they only focus on that area, which is a huge problem, okay? Yes, you need at least a basic level of text game where you can flirt, escalate, set up dates, not be cringy, not be a simp through text. You need to know the basics, which again, I teach as well in my South Asian Warriors school. First link in the description. Yes, that is important. You need to have good social skills, confident, know how to flirt, know how to cold approach, okay? I'm not denying any of that. That is important. However, there's more to dating and attracting women than just those things. And that is what most of these dating coaches, gurus, PUAs, that's what they get wrong, okay? They get this so wrong. It's way more to that. And it annoys me that they don't talk about all the other aspects of leveling up as a man, which is all centered around leveling up through self-improvement, okay? Get well immersed into multiple hobbies, right? Get a life, okay? If all you're doing is just playing video games all day, you're not going to be able to sustain any type of relationship. Pick up hobbies. If you're into women outside of your race, pick up more diverse hobbies, right? Salsa, running, skiing, snowboarding, pool. Pick up more hobbies, okay? The more well-rounded you are, the more that she sees you're somebody who actually has a life, the more she's gonna just be into you, okay? It's not just mouthpiece maxing and text game, okay? There's way more to it than just that, all right? In addition, fashion, grooming, hygiene. Hopefully we don't have to go too much more into that. I preach stuff like this all the time on my channel, but the outer game from the physical standpoint. Good hygiene practices, okay? Brushing your teeth, showering, putting on deodorant, getting a haircut every 3 to 4 weeks, right? Having a good sense of style, dressing well when you're going on these dates. Don't just go cold approaching girls wearing a torn up undershirt, wearing super baggy, weird clothing. Okay, present yourself well. Know your color schemes. Have good fitted clothes. Shop at the right places. H&M, Zara, Uniqlo. Have a unique sense of style, okay? Ditch the logos, ditch the super colorful branded clothing, all right? Have your fashion game on point. Grooming. Be well groomed. Again, going back to the hygiene practices, right? And then lastly, having an aesthetic physique. Your physique is your baseline, okay? You need an aesthetic, attractive physique. At the very least, it doesn't have to be a bodybuilder, crazy shredded physique, right? Like you're some power lifter, but it has to be at least that V-taper, lean, muscular physique, okay? And you get that lifting weights, going to the gym at least 3 to 4 times a week, and having a healthy, high protein diet. A lot of that is outside the scope of this video, and I made so many videos on all these areas of sexual market value, maxing, self-improvement, all of that. But self-improvement, again, number 3 principle, it's not just having advanced text game. It's not just mouthpiece maxing. It's all of the things that I just mentioned, the fashion, grooming, having an aesthetic physique, not being overweight, taking care of yourself, having hobbies, being a well-rounded person, okay? Having an interesting lifestyle, shattering the negative stereotype from the hygiene perspective, okay? What are us Indian men really known for? What's the negative stereotype? Bad grooming, bad hygiene, okay? Little things too, right? Like not interrupting, not talking super quick, which is why, again, yeah, the social skills are important. However, there's a lot more to it than just that. So master the social skills, you need to master the text game, but you also need to shatter the negative stereotypes, work on your outer game, and just present overall the best possible version of yourself with social skills, confidence, fashion, grooming, hygiene, having good hobbies, the gym, being in shape, so on and so forth. All right? So never forget principle number 3, self-improvement is not just gonna be only focusing on text game and flirting and running, tons of cold approach and social skills. You need to work on the outer game in terms of your presentation. What you present to the girl, think of yourself as a personal brand. You need to be on point. You need to present the best possible version of yourself to these women to satisfy their hypergamy, which is exactly what the last point, the last principle of this video of the Single South Asian Bible is all about. Hypergamy maxing. Not only do you need to understand the outer game, the inner game, but you also need to embrace and have always in your head the theory of hypergamy, okay? This is a little bit red-pilled in a sense, but it is so true, especially in today's dating market when it comes to the options that a lot of women have, right? Here's the deal, man, with hypergamy maxing. Understanding the principles of hypergamy. You need to satisfy her hypergamy. Women date men which they perceive to satisfy their hypergamy, basically being at the same sexual market value or above. Again, the most important point that you need to realize as a single guy is in order to retain women long term, right? You need to be satisfying their hypergamy at all times, okay? Women have options. They pick from the best, so you need to become the best that you possibly can in all areas of self-improvement, like I just mentioned. Okay? Never be complacent. Never assume you're safe. Even if you've gone on 4, 5, 6 dates with her, all right? Never assume you are safe. In that current moment, are you satisfying her hypergamy, what she's looking for, or are you not? Okay? Because the more you start turning her off, the more she doesn't perceive you as any type of value or satisfying her hypergamy, she's going to pull back. She's going to be less and less interested. You can never assume that she's locked into you, okay? And that's kind of the dark truth about dating. This really also is true when it comes to getting into a relationship and sustaining that relationship, right? Even when you're in a relationship, right? Exclusive, monogamous with a girl, whether it be girlfriend, even marriage, right? You should never let yourself go in a relationship. Always be leveling up, okay? Always be in shape. Always satisfy that hypergamy. Don't become this guy who just whines, complains, and just bitches about everything. Don't be this guy who just, starts crying and breaks down every time things get tough in life, okay? They are looking for a leader. They're looking for a guy that satisfies their hypergamy. They're looking for a guy that is valuable to them, all right? So never be complacent. Never let yourself go, even when you're in a relationship. Never assume safety, okay? Never let yourself go. Don't let the version of yourself that got the girl in the first place, never toss that version of yourself. Put your foot on the gas pedal. Always be leveling up in your life, becoming the best possible version of yourself. I'll say this so many times. You need to satisfy her hypergamy, okay? They have options. They pick from the best. So you need to become the best, okay? That is modern day dating. Always strive to be the best version of yourself. Never let yourself go. Understand hypergamy. Understand self-improvement is not just advanced text game tactics and mouthpiece maxing. It's all of these areas of life. Lean muscular physique, V-taper, lifting weights, having good hobbies, diverse hobbies, being an interesting person, right? Having good social skills is also part of it. Yes. However, you can't ignore fashion, grooming, style, shatter the negative stereotypes that a lot of us Indian men go through. Shatter them, all right? And remember, never be ashamed of your race, have strong inner game, and yeah, it's harder as a brown guy. I'm not going to lie to you, okay? It's harder being a minority, especially dating in the West. But the more attractive you make yourself in all areas of life, the more options you're going to have regardless of your race and regardless of the girl's race. So become the best possible version of yourself. So with all that being said, these are the 4 dating principles for South Asian men that you need to learn, understand, and implement into your life. I call this the Single South Asian Bible. Principle number 1, strong inner game. Principle number 2, understanding race niche appeal, and that you really need to go all in on this, right? You need to put in the work. You need to separate yourself. Principle number 3, self-improvement is more than just advanced text game. It's more than just having a strong mouthpiece. It's leveling up in all areas of your life. And lastly, the theory game under principle number 4, theory game, hypergamy maxing. So with all that being said, that is it for today's video. And if you want to join my South Asian Warriors School, click that first link in the description to check out the South Asian Warriors School. Like and subscribe. Check out this video right here, helping you further enhance and improve your dating life as a single South Asian guy. And I will catch you in the next video, bro. Peace.